Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Monday Night Mayhem Cup Series, brought to you live on MRL Broadcasting, courtesy of YouTube. This is Mean Gene Money alongside my tag team partner, Zach Panzarella, and we've got Pit Road Joe doing all of the producing, and it's time for some playoff racing. That's right, we are in the final 12 of the MRL Monday Night Mayhem. We are excited here, Zach. How are you feeling, buddy?
I'm feeling so happy to be back, me and Gene, and so excited about these playoffs. Sorry I had to miss last week, guys, and oh my gosh, I just drove back from Phoenix after watching the championship race and got here right in the nick of time, and I'm so glad I did, because this is going to be an awesome race here at the Charlotte Roval. We're turning right here, and it's going to be a challenge for everyone and a wild way to start the playoffs.
I'll tell you what, we just came off an amazing regular season. We watched Kenneth Redinger hold that lead and take that championship. Kenneth Redinger, Tony Iverson second. And I'll tell you what, if we think about what happened last week we're at Auto Club, and what do we see? We see David Cook get that W, third win of the year. He has the most wins on the season, and it pushed him up 2 playoff points. 2 positions, getting those extra playoff points going in. Man, that guy looked so hot last week. And you know who didn't look hot? That's Buddy Sully. Buddy Sully took the pole and then got in a wreck, multiple wrecks, after a lap 7 pit stop. And that took that pole winner, Buddy Sully, right out of it. Other sad person from last week had to be Jonathan Quesabeer, Zach. That guy needed a win, came up in 5th, just a little short, right?
Yeah, it was a must win for a lot of guys in the track or on the track last weekend, and that's the heartbreak that can come with playoff racing and cutoff races. I was taking a look at our playoff field earlier today, and I just could not believe the talent in the 12-car field that we have. Any of them can win the championship, so it really isn't anything you should hang your head about too much to not be in this field of 12 playoff drivers, because this is the who's who of MRL.
And I'll tell you what, looking up that list, there's 2 guys. They got in the old-fashioned way. They got a win and you're in, Willy Wonka golden ticket. And that's right now the number 10 position, Michael Mata, the number 11 position, Buddy Sully. But Buddy Sully, that guy's not really the number 11 driver going in here, is he, Zach? He's got 4 pole positions, and the guy also ran the fastest lap here today at the Roval. So I don't know if I'd consider him the number 11 guy in the field.
No, not at all. Buddy Sully, really just a victim in terms of his placement in the points due to his participation in races. He met the minimum requirement to be able to be eligible for the playoffs, and that was enough time for him to get a pole position 80% of the time he was here, which was 4 to 5 races, and 1 win. So Buddy Sully, like you said, very, very far from the 11th seed that he appears to be right there. He is actually a contender that can easily be in that top 4, top 3.
Yeah, and also, guy's a monster. He was running one of the fastest practice laps that we saw leading up into the qualifying that's about to take place. We do got a 10-minute qualifying session. They're 3 minutes into it. I'll tell you what, that's Zach Panzarella. We got Joe, the producer. I'm Mean Gene Money, and this is MRL. That's right. We're at Charlotte Motor Speedway Road Course, also known as the Roval, Concord, North Carolina, Zach. 2.32-mile asphalt track. And this thing has not 4, not 5, but 17 turns. This is a crazy track, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And since I had to get here in the nick of time, I found I'm not gonna say the next best thing. I'm gonna say an equally, if not better thing, and that's Joe Volpus turning right. Here is we're gonna show you guys a video of one of the best road course racers in our league getting around this track on a next gen car. So we have Joe loading that up right now, and you guys are gonna really see the difficulty of this track here. 17 turns, like me and Gene said, and we're gonna start it with none other than the Tums Heartburn turn once we get going here, and that is going to be one of the more difficult. Here we go. This is one of the more difficult corners of the track here. A hard left, and it really, really shrinks, as you can see. Joe doing an excellent job of getting to the car to the top, and now here to the bottom to hug that bottom line. Set up on the top now to do the same thing back to the bottom. Long sweeping right-hand corner here. The key to being fast here is not getting loose while also keeping momentum. Again, Joe keeping that wheel very, very straight. Doing a great job here. This feels like a fast part, but you gotta exercise patience here and really do that throttle control. I can see with Joe, not full throttle at all, but really, really keeping good control of the car. And here comes what is no longer here, but still in this layout here in iRacing. And this will still be a passing zone as we go back onto the NASCAR oval for turns. I believe this will be the middle of 2 as we go to set ourselves up for the backstretch chicane. By far one of the most difficult areas of this track. We're going to see some of the most passes and some of the most mistakes. If you blow the chicane, it's a penalty, time penalty. We have to stop on the track, and it can really, really cost you track position. Joe doing an excellent job there of hugging the turtles on the inside of those corners without getting them too much, because those things can set up your track or send up your car right up in the air and cost you tons of momentum. You need to use them just like how Joe did there. And now hard on the brakes for the last chicane before the start finish line. Keep the wheel straight there, and there it is right there, angling the car perfectly. Another time where it tightens up on exit, but Joe did a great job. And that is one lap around the Charlotte Roval by one of the best in the business at turning right. Well done there, Joe. And that really, I mean, he made it look easy, but trust me, guys, we're going to be seeing a lot more difficulty, mistakes, and cars facing the other direction than we just saw right there.
That's a minute and 24 seconds of excitement right there. Now, as far as MRL Monday Night Mayhem goes, this is their first trip to the Roval, but they did run at Watkins Glen last year as their only road course of that series. And as Zach alluded to, Joe Volpus took the win there. That's why they do call him one of the better road racers that we have. Funny thing, though, Joe Volpus won that race. Matt Novella, David Owens finished second and third. But I'll tell you what, 8 of the 12 drivers in this playoffs, they didn't run at that road course last year. So, Zach, this thing is kind of wide open as far as who we think might take that dub. And looking at the top, 2 of the names that didn't run last year are at the top of the qualifying. Buddy Sully, David Cook, that's your front row.
Yeah, and those are 2 of the guys that I talked about in a post-race interview a couple of weeks ago to look out for, especially that 71 at David Cook. I also like to consider myself one of the better guys at turning right here in this league. Was where one of my wins has come here, and I came to do a one-off in the at Watkins Glen in the Xfinity Series this year, and oh my goodness, David Cook embarrassed me and really the whole field. No one had anything for him. I think he won the race by a double-digit lead. He was incredible. To see Buddy Sully with even more speed than 71 at Cook would be daunting to me to the rest of the track. I can tell you also Bryson Dodson, not surprised to see him in third place at all. He's an excellent road course racer, always up front in these things, and no matter what we're driving. So that's not surprising to me. Moving on to Tony Iverson, I don't know what he's like turning right, but I'm not surprised to see him over there in fourth, being the all-around driver he is. Then we got David Owens running at the top 5. Another great driver here on road courses. Sometimes struggles to have that race-winning speed, but really a lot of times in these races, all you have to do is be at the right place at the right time if you want to round out the rest of our top 10 for us, me and Gene.
As far as qualifying goes, you're going to be looking at Alex Hillman coming in at 6th place. Alex not in the playoff 12, but strong driver Alex. He's in his 3rd race for our Monday night series. Still running that 904. It'll be the last time for him. Michael Nada, He won his way into the playoffs, starting in 7th in that number 16 Chevrolet. Sean Walton, Womp Womp, he of the front bumper. He's in that number 3 Toyota. He's going to be in 8th. Matt Novella took 2nd place at Watkins Glen last year. He's got some road course experience. And starting in the 10th position, it's going to be the 48 bow tie car of Matthew Fritz. Matthew Fritz, he is 5th in points also. Really interesting race last week at Auto Club, watching Cook and Duval both jump up 2 spots, making Matthew Fritz and David Owens drop down 2 points. So people with momentum coming into this, I definitely got to call out Buddy Sully, Michael Mata, Bobby Dodson, David Cook. They got that momentum on their side. Other people, you got to wonder, kind of in the middle, Kenneth Redinger, Tony Iverson, strong runners, but they just don't have quite that fire that we've seen from those other guys these last few weeks. Going to be interesting to see exactly how that translates into these races today. All the playoff drivers are in position, though, on the grid today, so everybody's going to look to hold court. Now, remember, they did get a reset on those points. So everybody was at 1,000. They got their playoff points. The only way now, though, to make extra points as far as playoffs go is you got to win. You still get the regular points in this battle for elimination for leading a lap at the halfway, the most laps, the fastest laps, a lap. But if you want playoff points moving forward, if you get into that round of 9, you're going to have to win this thing. And right now, we said 11th ain't exactly where Buddy Sully belongs. He's up in the front, and Zach, this guy, I mean, I watched him practice during the week as well, and he was putting off 120 and 122 pit times when he was 11, 12, 13 laps into a run. We're expecting green flags to be about a green flag gas run to be about 14 to 17 laps, and that guy was keeping pretty good speed about that whole time.
Yeah, he was, and me and Gene just made a pretty crazy observation. Our regular season champion isn't here tonight. That is a interesting way to start the playoffs for Kenneth Redinger. Not here tonight. He does have a nice buffer on the playoffs, with I think about a 24-point buffer to the elimination. But nonetheless, this is a rough way to start your playoffs. He will definitely be digging from the outside looking, because I believe everyone else is here with their other playoff drivers rounding out the top 15 here. Another guy I want to shout out before we go green here, someone to look for, Alex Hillman, running in other leagues with him on road courses. He came in other league that I run in with him, 3rd place last time we went to a road course. He is a exceptional road course driver, takes a lot of pride in it, is an endurance driver as well as a oval driver, has tons of experience turning right, has tons of experience driving multiple cars on road courses. Keep your eye out for that 904 today, looking to make a statement as one of our rookies. But this is going to be an interesting one, Gene. The playing field really is wide open with the points reset, with our regular season champion not being here. A lot could happen here.
Well, and he's definitely taking a chance, because the next 2 races in this first round are Indianapolis and Talladega, and anything can happen at Talladega. You can't have that circled as far as you think you're going to win and be in. And then Indianapolis, maybe he's just really good at Indy, or maybe he really hates the Roval. I've heard people say both of those things, not Redinger in particular, but I've just heard other people say that they'd rather go to the dentist and get a root canal without any Novocaine than run a road course. MRL officials, though, they've got one road course on here in that first round. Hopefully everybody can make it through. Right now, though, we're looking down on the track. Pace car is leading him around, and Buddy Sully, he's on the inside. He is going to be your control car. And hey, David Cook on the outside. What a surprise, huh? Seeing that 71 out there on Cook's lane. Bobby Dodson, Tony Iverson in that second row behind him. These are some heavy hitters, and the pace car is off. Buddy Sully's going to lead him down into that green, that Geico reset. Let's see what kind of start he's going to get as they come around onto the front straightaway. Look at that jump by Sully. Beautiful jump. A little bit of a hiccup there by Cook, and that's going to let Iverson get side by side. And
Iverson goes around and Cook hits the wall. Huge trouble to start the race.
Dodson's
around.
The world.
Caution
You got you loud and clear. I don't know why you can't hear Earl. Can you hear me?
I did not think we'd see a caution. We didn't even bring that up. But
Did not hear
I
him
was gonna
call that
say,
caution.
I didn't. That we are nearly guaranteed.
You need to check your radio connection. Check the one on your headset, on your headboard actually, on your left-hand side, and on your headrest.
A lot of our heavy hitters.
1, 2, 3, loud and clear.
You
got a good copy.
The corner in turn 1 is just
And 4.
But apparently
Yes.
it's not. It was a prediction of what we were going to do here at the Roval. Hey, I'll tell you what. We're going to get Pit Road Joe to go ahead and take us back and see if we can get that replay because that was just brutal.
Yeah, like when Brad Keselowski led the troops off the cliff, we had a similar situation here. Cook getting very loose and hitting the outside wall, and I'm not sure if Iverson was reacting to it or what it was, but he also spun around shortly afterwards. We'll see what that looked like when we get that replay pulled up. But wow, that is going to have some major repercussions. Here we go.
There it is.
Keep your eye on the outside of the 71 of Cook and the 13 of Iverson, also on the outside in that second row. What went wrong here?
Look at that. Sully's loose already going in. You can see Iverson kind of going down. He wants to make it too wide next to Cook with Sully with that great lead.
And here we go, approaching the corner. Let's see.
On the outside.
Someone's going to probably get loose. Watch Cook. Okay, Cook's loose. He's gone. Look at that thing. It's a little bit of overcorrection there. And there goes Iverson as well, right behind him. And
here comes
synchronized spitting. Dodson with essentially nowhere to go here, me and Gene. And
he
how much
almost made it
contact is
through
about
the
to be
gap. Ooh, and that looks like the...
Look at Hillman doing a great job checking up. That's Michael Mata spun around. That's Matt Novella with contact. That's David Owens facing the wrong direction. All of them are playoff drivers.
Fritz makes it through clean. Look at that.
Yes, he does. It looks like Sully gets a nice boop from Medina for good measure at the end.
28 of Austin Marrow gets through clean.
27 club working together.
Driver.
As they always do,
those
right?
20-somethings. The 20-somethings of evil.
So
Marrow and Austin. Mason Smalley getting through.
What are you thinking in terms of fast repairs here, me and Gene? How many do you think we are looking at here?
That is going to be interesting. Nobody thinking they were going to be using those fast repairs, but yet magically we see all those wrecks. Let's take a peek up at the front. Sully did manage to make his way through there.
Yeah.
So Sully, Cook, and looks like Sean Walton being shown up at the front at the moment. So really the people we're going to keep an eye on. We got to see what happens to Dodson. He really took a heavy hit. Tony Iverson also taking heavy hits there. We're going to have to just
Cook
see.
did as well, me and Gene. I know he's still in second, but it's because he pancaked the wall, but I don't know what that right side's right. But what is a positive about, your fast repair and this track? These are long caution laps. So you can fix your car this way. You can probably not have to use your fast repair unless you have what's called a meatball flag. So I think you're okay, right, me and Gene? I think most of these guys won't have to use it, or at least can find out what the car drives like with a little bit of damage before having to use that thing. But now to kind of argue with myself, we shouldn't get another caution, you'd think.
Let's curse it. Let's just curse it. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, though. I'm going to go ahead and bring somebody in and just see if we can get their opinion. It's going to be a surprise. Pull in. Let's see what he has to say for himself. Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
Buddy, Ming Jing here. Can you hear me, bud?
Yeah, go ahead.
Was there a banana peel in turn 1? It looked like you got a little wiggly. Cook just goes wide outside. Iverson spins it for no reason. What do you think happened there in turn 1 to the whole field?
It was definitely slippery. I thought everything was good, and then the rear of the car started to step out, and luckily the wall straightened me up, so... I don't know what happened to everyone behind me, though. I looked back in the mirror, and it was just the whole track was blocked.
Well, you're still staying out there. We see some of these other leaders and point leaders that are having to come in, most notably David Cook going in there. His tires are looking a little bit crazy. I'm not sure if he's going to take a fast repair or not, but Iverson as well. So those are a couple of the heavy hitters. Right now you're looking at Sean Walton, Alex Hillman behind you. So good job avoiding that. A little bit tight for everybody in there, buddy. Great pole. Want to congratulate you on that. That car just dialed in for you today?
Oh, yeah, it feels good. I've always been a fan of the Roval, so we'll see how the rest of the race goes, though. It's all about consistency here.
Yeah, it is, putting in those buck 24 times every time. Buddy Sully, the number 21 pole position car, and he's also in your lead. Thanks, buddy. Good luck out there.
Yep, thank you.
To answer that curiosity, Mean Gene, Tony Emerson did use his fast repair. Didn't look like too many other drivers did. I'm looking at the hit times, and I don't think they did. Parham 40 seconds, Iverson 39, Medina 26, Novella 51 and counting, Smalley a minute and counting. I think it was just Cook who did.
Yeah, it was like you said, though, they got a lot of time to do the repairs in there and see what's going to happen. Oh, wow.
Great observation here from Joe. Oh, take it away, Mean Gene.
Go ahead. I'm trying to pull in another driver. Go ahead and say what he said.
Oh, Duval, who started on pit road, and this just goes to show the absolute mayhem that wreck was. So started on pit road, considerably behind the field, finds himself in 5th place now.
Yeah, that turned out to be a heck of a strategy. Tell you what, we got another car in here. We got the number 11 driver, David Owens, in here. David, you got spun around backwards also. Was there banana peels in that turn?
Yeah, I come around through the turn and they were sideways, so I hit the brakes and it spun me around, and luckily, I come out of there with minimum damage. I think somebody just barely tapped me. So other than that, we're good to go.
Now, I did notice while you were facing the wrong way, you did get side by side with your teammate Matt Novella. Did y'all have like inside communication? You didn't want on the radio, or was that just happen chance that y'all were in that position?
Just happen chance. We were hollering at each other through our window nets.
I did see a little bit of high five there. You're going to have to put that window net back up. It's a safety issue, David. All right, David Owens, the number 11 driver. Good luck out there, brother.
Thank you, sir.
I see him just holding the window net there, Mean Gene. He's just kind of holding it there like Ryan Blaney did that one time. I don't know if the officials are going to like that.
You know what? I think he is one of the officials. They'll probably figure something out.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, they won't. Gulf Coast Racing, they get away with everything. I think they got faster cars.
And more fast repairs for sure. They probably have at least 4.
And that's how they run it here. We are only on lap 4. We're going to run 35 laps here today. Remember, halfway point, we will not stop the race, but we will award 1 point to the car that is in the lead at that point. Right now, Buddy Sully is in your lead. Sean Walton in that 23, Alex Hillman 904, and as we said, Jax Duval in that number 84. He didn't qualify, starts from the pit, and yet manages to find himself in 4th place just like that. And hey, look at that, Zach. There's one of those red hot drivers I was talking about, Michael Mata in that number 16. He's made his way up into 5th place. You think anybody's going to have an answer for Buddy, though? I mean, we didn't really get
who knows
an idea of anything, did we?
Yeah, I was going to say, we do not have the data to give us any type of answer. Mata was in that as well, Mean Gene, and I don't think he didn't come in at all, so clearly not enough contact for him to want to do anything about that. But yeah, this will definitely be interesting. This definitely hurt a few of our heavy hitters like we talked about, but not all of them. Alex Hillman, someone I said to look for, still up there up front. Sean Walton, kind of one of our ringers here today, someone that we see more in other MRL series, giving the next gens a try, and he finds himself in 2nd place. So yeah, I still think we will get some good reference points here for our boy Buddy Sully, and find out if anyone's going to have anything for him, and also find out if that banana peel is cleaned up.
And that's Sean Walton from Versailles, Kentucky. That's not Versailles. Versailles is in France.
Right.
I made that mistake one time while I was there in Versailles.
Sean Walton, a very, very French name, so I see how you made that mistake.
Enchanté.
Sean Walton. You can say it French, it's French.
I'll tell you what, he needs to get a sponsor with that famous French restaurant we're all so familiar with, Jacques in the Box. Yes. Everybody loves to go to that French restaurant. Funny, I was just watching a lot of the cars spending a lot of time in the pits, just like you said they would. And when they came out, those cars are just handling kind of funny. Justin Parham had difficulty making the left turn coming out of the pits. He's still wiggling around on that thing. Tony Iverson came out late. Austin Merrow and Mason Smalley, both couple of playoff drivers, the M&M boys, struggling right there as well. So going to be interesting to see exactly how these cars are going to handle. I mean, sure, it's a road course, but it's got those 2 big, long oval turns, and you really get up to speed out there.
Yeah, you do. That's a great observation. That's going to be something to look out for as we go green here. Buddy Sully, this is a crazy restart zone.
Let's see if they can handle this first turn this time, or if it turns into another Another meme. All right, they're tight. It's red. They're about to go green. Green flag. Whoa, they might have to look at that restart. I don't think you can do that, can you?
I have my spotter on Mean Gene, and they go green sooner than in that light gave us. And not a forward Hillman goes around, and the Tom's Harvard turn. And that's going to be another pileup. We might get another yellow here. Yep, we do, and that's Owens that time. Hillman immediately tows. Hillman just got loose on the exit of the Heartburn turn, and that is why they called it that. That turn is just...
Is that Cook again?
And there goes Owens doing his best Kyle Busch impression. Watch out, that's the wall.
Ooh.
Good thing he has that backup cam. But wow, Mean Gene. How about that? And yeah, Sean Walton does have the lead in funky restart zone. They're actually going green kind of when they're entering that right corner of the chicane, Mean Gene. That's when they're getting the call to go green. It looks a little bit funky on the broadcast.
Because I'm watching it, and I was thinking that Sean Walton got a little bit ahead of Buddy Solly there on that restart, but as
and
Zach
the reason...
said...
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was saying, as you said, it's happening a little bit sooner, which allows Walton to get that run.
Yep,
Just
exactly.
insanity
like
here on this replay.
Sully kind of caught the curb a little bit, got a little bit loose, and that did allow Walton to get that run. So let's watch the 904 of Hillman here. All looks good, Mean Gene, and then is it just going to whip around on him? So he's setting up. That is a weird one. Again, I have a lot of time spent with Alex Hillman, a great driver. I have no idea what went wrong there. It almost looks like a mechanical failure.
Tokyo Drift.
Right? This is probably a lot easier said than done. So great angle here from our producer, Joe Volpes, because let's find out how David Owens became a big part of this, because that car has tons of damage, probably fast repair damage. So Hillman's going to whip around in about a second or two. There he goes, and maybe just gas it up a little bit too hard. Yeah, could have been that. Maybe a misshift, Mean Gene. And so Mata, again, going to get some damage. And who's that behind Mata? Because that is a pile up of everything. And that's Cook again, Mean Gene. He doesn't have his fast repair.
Oh.
And the fact, okay, thank you. That's Bollinger. And immediately towing is Hillman. That's why you saw him disappear there. I am very worried about that 71 of David Cook.
Yeah, David Cook, he had that win last week at Auto Club, third in points, but after using that quick repair, you got to wonder what's going to happen. This just in, looks like Colin Bollinger, he was in the number 11 FedEx car. He has taken it behind the wall, and we will not be seeing him. Bollinger, he's a playoff driver over in our Wednesday night Xfinity series, just making a guest appearance. Limited number of rides he is taking here on Monday nights, but that ride ends here on this caution on lap 5. Second caution of the day. Who'd have thought we'd be calling so many of them so quickly here every third lap? We seem to get that caution, and it's just the cars getting loose. These drivers are going to have to reel these things in and start to figure out exactly how to keep this thing on a rail. 17 turns here, that's not easy.
Yeah, I'm going to be really surprised, and if I'm being frank, disappointed if we see that happen again, Mean Gene. There needs to be so much give and take at road courses, especially early in runs. It's not worth it to, I don't want to put anything on Hillman and say he was being over aggressive or anything of that nature. And that wasn't really a huge product of impatience, what just happened. Maybe you could say the pileup was. Maybe it just is that slick, but they've got to really dial it back going into that corner, like get some laps in. And kind of, I think really what this is respect the track a little bit, right? Yeah, right, and give this track a little bit of respect. We're not at Watkins Glen, we're at the Roval. What Buddy Sully said, I wanted to say stuff nobody ever says when he said, I love the Roval. No one loves the Roval.
Yeah, I love the Roval, said no one.
Yeah.
But maybe Sean Walton's thinking he loves the Roval, because right now he's being shown out there in the lead. He is not a playoff driver here, but hey, a win is a win wherever you get it. And right now, Sean Walton looking strong. Buddy Sully right behind him. He passed Sully on that restart. Sully you said he touched that apron a little bit, and that let Walton get up there. We'll see how long it takes Sully to sneak by him if we can get some green flag race. And Duval pushes his way up into third after starting from the pit. Bobby Dodson fourth, also a fast car. Bobby Dodson, he had the third fastest lap in practice. Michael Mata, curious, he's still out there. Looked like he had a little bit of contact though, didn't it?
Yeah, again, just I guess clearly not enough. And what's even crazier with that, Mean he's not a part of Gulf Coast Racing, so we know he doesn't have one of those, damage mods that they love to use. I'm kidding, by the way. But really, really fascinating here, and equally as fascinating to me is the 11 of Owens. I don't think using that fast repair. Sitting in the pits for a long time. Not surprising to see the 71 doing that. Like we discussed, doesn't have his fast repair. Also, Sean Walton over in the lead right now. Quick comment about him. We have, looking at our stream, we have a different paint scheme on our end because he is, as it says on our leaderboard, running the 3. Sean Walton, clearly a Bubba Wallace fan because the scheme he is actually running right now is that Star Wars scheme that Bubba ran yesterday. Did you see that thing, Mean Gene? What a cool paint scheme.
Yes, it was. Good race for him as well. There was a lot of excitement in that race. And a lot of times the drivers that are not in that championship 4 or the driver that doesn't win the championship is often overlooked. Bubba Wallace, he did have a nice top 10 finish yesterday there, and that paint scheme was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a gorgeous one. Always really impressive to me when he's able to keep up with his teammate, one of the most talented drivers on the planet. But back to this league. So what I'm going to be looking for on this restart, which would be about, I think, 1 lap's time after this next.
Is a caution?
Sorry, what?
Are you going to be looking for a caution?
Oh, I hope not. I'm going to be looking to see, first of all, what lane Walton wants after getting the lead on the inside. Will he choose the outside, the leader with lane choice in this league? That's the only lane choice we get. There's no choose going outside of that. Or will he want to try the inside and just think, you know what, I think I'm just better than that 21. I want the inside. I think it was a him thing. So that'll be a very interesting thing to see what the 3 decides to go with. And who knows how much more we'll get beyond that. So look for that.
Everybody keeps smashing into the outside wall. I'd be afraid to be on the outside because I'd get doored up into the wall. I'd want to be on the inside just to avoid the action, the unwanted attention that you might get just from trying to ride out on the outside. A little bit more info coming in from the pits. Looks like Alex Hillman, driver of that 904, has also chosen to park his car. So loss of 2. We had 17 drivers start. We are down to 15 now with both Colin and Alex being out of the race. And looks like David Owens still trying to hold on back there and put that thing back together with duct tape. He's going to be starting from that 15th and final position. Interesting spot for David Owens to be in.
Yeah, a 2.5-minute pit stop from our boy David Owens, Mean Gene, which was probably that entire caution lap to not go a lap down. Alex Hillman calling it a day kind of lends to my theory that we may have seen a mechanical failure there. Alex Hillman's someone not easy to make him give up on a race. Just yesterday he was in a different league race, had a similar early bad luck situation, and still finished it out laps down to be there for his team. Hillman, teammate of Jose Medina, would not leave unless he had to. So, huge bummer for someone that I thought would have been fascinating to see today. But moving on from that, it looks like you predicted, an exceptional point by you, as always, Mean Gene. Walton taking the inside, and you're so right about, well, if you make a mistake on the outside, it seems to be that's when you barrel into the wall. And if you're someone like Sean Walton and you do make that mistake, that's where the pileups are on that outside lane, right there. That just seems like a horrible place to be during these wrecks. So definitely a protective move, I think, as well, and an amazing observation by you, because you're right. I want to be as far away from that wall as possible.
Yeah, I don't want somebody to push me up out there. That's just not where you want to be. Another car of note, though, made their way back up. Looks like Tony Iverson makes his way back up to 7th. So that was a guy that got into some trouble early, and he's slowly making his way up. He's on the inside. That's really, I think, where you would want to be, at least until these cars start to spread out. They say you can make 14 to 17 laps, so they're still looking at going to need to make at least 2 more pits. Maybe they'll be under green. Maybe they won't. Green flags usually. Pit stops is usually where you make up a lot of time, but we've yet to see one of those come in. Pit lights are off on that pace car, so we'll be expecting them to go green next time around. But they're in the middle of going around. 17 turns, Zach. What a long track. What a long caution lap.
Yeah, it really is, Mean Gene. And yeah, we are only a few cautions away from not having to pit at all, right? Because you save a lot of fuel, and these guys have come down a few times while you're in a caution. So we'll see what happens with that. But as of right now, yeah, probably pit with, like 10 to go. And that will make the race interesting. Some people maybe want to take a chance with tires. Now this run is shorter. But here we go, Mean Gene. Big question, and you know what it is. Can we get through turn 1?
Yeah, turn 1 is the devil right now. Look at those 8 cars all
I'll tell you what I hear,
Walton on the inside. I'm just thinking it just happened right there. Look at
flag.
Walton
Green
going
flag,
pretty
yep,
quick.
Exactly.
Buddy Sully taking his time on that outside. Oh, look at that big old run.
Extends into 1. Sully, even coming out of the initial chicane, got into the wall. And we are in turn 2, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, what a moment.
All right, so finally, it looks like we have made it through. Really exciting racing. I'll tell you what, they don't look like they're going too fast up here from my perspective. But they are hauling through down there on that track. Look at Walton really starting to try to spread this thing out, but he is not going to get away from Buddy Sully.
Yeah, they're going as fast as necessary, me and Gene. They're going as fast as it takes for us to watch them race. But yeah, Sean Walton trying to be cautious here. I like what he's doing. Don't get too crazy. Amazing run off that corner by Buddy Sully. He can go side by side in the chicane if he wants to. This will be interesting to see if he wants to take this chance this early in the race. Like we talked about, this is a big passing zone. He doesn't. He's going to let the 3 go in, and he locks it up. Mean Gene, can he make the corner? He can't. He misses the chicane.
No.
That's going to be an off-track penalty.
Yeah, he's going to have to let him go on by, and they might even give him a black flag and make him drive straight through the pits after that one. MRL official's going to have to make a decision on that.
He has time to decide when to do this. You have about 30 seconds. I think you do it on the exit of the chicane here. And Sully locks it up this time. Will he make the corner? Oh, that was close. Great recovery from Buddy Sully. And I'd assume that the 3 of Walton will take that penalty now, and he has yet to do it.
He's probably waiting
until
they yell at him.
He will get that black flag. It's just it's an iRacing thing as well, me and Gene. iRacing won't let you get away with this. It's not just the league who has to enforce this rule. So that will be interesting to see. He's going to have to give up time soon. I don't know how much. We don't see that on our end, but I guess we'll find out soon. Look at how big the separation already is in the field, being Gene, from 1st to 10th place. We got a 7-second gap.
Yep, and we can see other cars that are up in that front that are going to get some really nice points if they can hold that position. You can see Michael Mata, he's made his way up into 3rd place. He's just barely outside of your screen, but he'll come in afterwards. Looks like Bobby Dodson just got by Jax Duvall. That was for 4th and 5th. Matt Novella running 6th. Tony Iverson 7th. Looks like David Cook is staying up to speed. David Cook right now in 8th place. So the 71 car really hoping that he can keep his machine pushing forward. A lot of good racing now that we're getting through this. Let's just hope they can keep making. Ooh, Owens locks him up. Him and Justin Parham almost have a conversation back there.
So loose from Cook on the exit chicane there. Like you said, looks like the car is driving probably as well as it could with the damage, but certainly not perfect, me and Gene, as Sean Walton seems to have gotten it together around the chicanes with an excellent set of chicanes there. Really starting to put a little bit of a gap on Buddy Sully. Still having no idea and don't want to speculate about what's going to happen with that off track. Maybe it was such a small penalty in terms of what iRacing gave him that he was able to make that time up entering the 2nd chicane. We'll have to talk to him about that if we get a caution or at the end of the race. But right now, all that matters is that he's in front of that 21 with the lead.
He did look like he slowed down a little bit. Buddy Sully got loose and had a self-inflicted penalty on accident, and maybe that's what allowed Walton to keep that lead. But you can see right there the 23 and the 21. That is Walton and Buddy Sully with a nice lead. Ooh, wow! Look at that rear end try to come around, but both these veteran drivers. There's going to be another
chance here. There's going to be another chance here for the 21.
Ooh, it's going to be good.
Yes, this will. We'll see if he's going to bait the 3 into making a mistake again, or if he just sends it. See, he's going to try it again. He really checks up and lets the 3 go deep into it. What's going to happen with Walton? Walton does a great job this time around, really keeping the car away. He's loose on exit, and here comes Sully to the inside. He should be able to do it here, Gene.
Wow, he set him up so nicely. He said, hey, after you, my friend. Just kidding, I'll go by. And Buddy Sully, pole position winner and now back into the lead. This is lap 11 of 35. These guys are going to be racing hard to get to lap 17 to get that 1 point for leading in the halfway. I think they'll make it there on gas pretty easily. So right now it's pretty much just a race to lap 17 right now. Buddy Sully in the lead, Sean Walton behind him. And then they got a good gap, about 3 seconds back before you start to see Mata, Dodson, and Iverson come into the picture. Buddy Sully showing how it's done here at the Roval.
Really can't say enough good things about Buddy Sully's racing style more than anything, just beyond his raw speed. What is so, or equally as important, is your racing style and your racecraft, and Buddy Sully has that in bunches. He is so patient. Oftentimes, especially at a track like the Roval, that is so difficult and really so difficult to pass at, even for a road course. What's easier than making the pass itself, Mean Gene, is just waiting for the car in front of you to make a mistake and do what the 21 is able to do, which is drive right by him without really having to put up or without the 3 even being able to put up a fight. He knew he was faster, and that was the right way to make that pass, because look at how big that gap is now, Mean Gene. He is checking out. Keys on the counter, Sean Walton.
Yeah, he was really quick. The only person that was even close to him in their qualifying time and in practice times was David Cook. David Cook, though, running back in 7th on that damaged car. So he is still trying to make up that gap. Somebody who is starting to make up the gap, though, David Owens. Remember, I said he started back in 15th on that restart. He's made his way up into 9th pretty quickly. So I think David Owens, that pit crew of his, made some fast, some expeditious repairs. They didn't use a fast
As he misses a chicane, he's going to serve that penalty. And
Sorry,
so that right there, Mean Gene, appears to be about the penalty of a slowdown penalty when you miss a chicane. So not that bad, Joe, if you want to go to the 13 of Iverson and Cook with an intense battle right now on the track. Look at these two of our heavy hitters making a little bit of contact there. These two have been around each other, it seems like, all day, and these guys need points badly, and they have not had the days they thought they would, given their speed here and their qualifying positions. Battling it out hard on the track right there with the 32 Dodson right behind them, watching it all unfold. This is intense stuff.
I already would have wrecked about 3 times if I was that close to another car out there. Look at Iverson and Cook really battling. Bobby Dodson, he had a fast car in practice, so you know they're going at a high rate of speed if they're pulling away from Bobby Dodson. That battle that you're looking for right there, that's 4th, 5th, and 6th. Really good action out there. Iverson, oh, wow, that looked like it hurt.
Yeah, it did. Nothing malicious from Iverson there, because that doesn't help Iverson's car any more than it helps Cook's. Just different braking zones. Iverson not expecting Cook to check up as early as he did, and looks like they both got out of there mostly scot-free. I don't think anything too severe happened there, but now you could tell Iverson not really wanting to do too much to David Cook.
I think he had to change it. He had to change that. He had to change that radio station. I think he was listening to that Atlanta hip hop star Ludacris as he was coming through there. And David Owens. I'll tell you what, though. Look what happened, though. He tapped Cook. And Cook ended up catching Mata just like
in no time.
So
gone.
He needed that encouragement, didn't he?
And it looks like we got a car up pit road. It is the 56 at Novella. I would say, Mean Gene, you said they can go, what, 14, 15 on fuel?
Yeah, 14 to 17 on fuel, perhaps. Novella hadn't had the opportunity to take it. He's taking tires there, though. So that makes you wonder exactly what the strategy is. Maybe he's figuring there's going to be another caution. Let's go ahead and get the 4 freshies on it for the rest of the day. And he only needs one more tank of gas, and he's good to go to the end. Who knows? Gulf Coast Racing, number 56, trying some new strategies.
I'm not great at math, nor that's definitely in the booth here, our weakest link for sure. But I feel like you're probably close enough to make this a one-stop race. So it's a little bit fascinating to see him pit now and essentially give up any chance. As also, Joey, besides this amazing battle, which is just this insanity, the 27 Club in a crazy battle right now. We have a lot of battles on the track for a road course race where you normally oftentimes see a lot of big gaps after about this amount of time going green, but not here. Too much parity, too many skilled drivers.
Yeah, that's Mason Smalley and Austin Marrow, the 27 boys, getting after it. And you got Jose Medina right behind them. Jack Sanders not too far ahead of that group as we're looking a little bit back. There you go. You can see that orange 28 of Marrow. Ooh, little wall tap right there, too. And that's a bad angle to come into that chicane.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. I mean, Gene, what a bizarre angle. for lack of a better word.
Ooh, I like that. That's a good vocabulary word for you boys and girls out there. And you can see Medina putting a move on him. There might be something wrong with that car. That's the third entry, weird entry. And you can see him right there. That car is just really struggling. Not exactly the way that Sanders wants that car to be handling.
Totally agree with you, me and Gene. Something clearly up with that 25 to where he just doesn't want to be in the way. We're hearing from our producer that the 56 Novella, 56 Novella DNFing this race actually. So I think that kind of answers our speculation about why that pit stop didn't make a ton of sense. What I'm assuming may have happened, me and Gene, is maybe he fast repaired that first pit stop, and that's why it would have made sense to pit then, right? If he had too much damage to go on, and maybe he came out and it happened again, and to where you don't have a fast repair anymore, you can no longer fix the car. I'm seeing there in that inner fender that he already has some damage, and
Look how
it
loose
looks
that
like
is.
going around here in turn one. Yep, and maybe at this point, Novella is just saying this thing is undrivable. I'm calling it a day. It's going to nose in, isn't it? Oh, well, if he didn't have a fast repair, that will do it. That's a blown engine. Rough start for Matt Novella. Not a playoff driver, but definitely one skilled enough to be a playoff driver. But rough road course race from somebody that we mentioned going into this race as someone to look for. A really good road course racer. Really just going to show how difficult this track here in Charlotte is.
Yeah, you know, Sunday at Phoenix, Ford stood for first on race day, but today Matt Novella found on road, deserted the 56. He is going to be out of the race. Up front, though, Buddy Sully in that 21, he is putting it to the field right now. He's got a nice 8-9 second lead. Look at that grow to 10. Buddy Sully is just dialed in. Sean Walton and the rest of the field is just heading the wrong way. Sully.
So let's go on board with Buddy Sully and just watch how this guy, it just attacks this track. And what I'm going to assume we're going to see a lot of here, Mean Gene, is like we saw 2 weeks ago, more shifting than the rest of the field. Buddy Sully, really somebody that just amazes me and impresses me so much with his ability to just absolutely make sure he's the one driving the car. The car isn't driving him. He's on top of this thing. Really, really just amazing steering control, not too much input. Similar to what we saw from Joe Volpas's on-track lap before we went green here. And this is no disrespect to Joe's an amazing lap, but this is about 2 seconds faster than Joe's lap. So this is just all in the mail right now from Buddy Sully. Look how smooth he does that, Mean Gene. Look how little momentum, if any, he loses getting onto this important part of the track. Because like you saw with the ways he was just able to set up the 3 of Walton, you really got to set things up out of that, or going onto the NASCAR Charlotte Oval, because those are such long and fast sections of the track. As we see him hit the chicane perfectly on his marks. That's as good as it gets, Mean Gene.
You know, his last lap right there was faster than anybody else's best lap.
That's
how quick Sully is. On his lap 16 was faster than anybody else's best lap. The only other person coming close is David Cook, who ran his best lap right there as well. So a 1/10 of a second faster than Cook. But as far as the rest of the field goes, they are running 123s, 124s. So Sully is improving his lead 2+ seconds every lap over everybody except for David Cook. But David Cook, he's 9.5, 10 seconds behind Sully. So we're going to need something magical to get these two guys back together. But other than that, this race is just Buddy Sully's. I mean, I don't want to say somebody's checked out at the halfway point, but that's pretty much where we are. Speaking of halfway, congratulations, Buddy Sully is going to get that 1 point, as he is the leader at that halfway point. So he's putting it to the field in all the ways. He's getting all the points. He's led a lap, that's a point. So far he's led the most laps, that's a point. Took the pole, that's a point. I mean, and what other points are there to get?
I think all Buddy Sully has to do is, and this will be one, I believe another point, all he has to do is lead about 2 more, and that'll be the most laps with those few that Walton got to lead. But yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you, Mean Gene, and what a good find of a stat, because that is horrifying. That's scarier than Terrifier 3 for the rest of the field, what they have to see with Sully putting down laps like that this deep into a run. And I have not one better, Mean Gene, but one equally as scary. It's only 1/10 off of his fastest lap of the race what he's putting down lately.
Yeah,
oh, that's disgusting. That's disgusting.
I watched him midweek get in practice, you know, and as he was running...
Sean Walton, big problem. Yeah, sorry to cut you off. I apologize. Sean
No,
Walton,
please
though,
go.
with a big problem out of the chicane there, which is why David Cook, which, oh my goodness, David Cook, a rocket ship. I warned y'all, watch out for this guy, but clearly a big issue there for the 3 of Walton coming out of the chicane. And once again, making a pass of the 3 car easy with a mistake as opposed to actually having to do it on track.
Well, we recently, just at Phoenix, we saw a second place car 10 seconds behind, and they got close, but they just couldn't get close enough. Right now, that's pretty much the lead Buddy Sully has over David Cook, but those two guys aren't teammates, so who knows what happens. Here we got some pit road action as well. Looks like Bobby Dodson bringing it down here at the halfway point. Theoretically, he'll be real close on fuel. I think he'll still be about 2 laps short.
But you called it perfectly. Me and Gene, you called it perfectly, and with those cautions, which are, again, this is the last time I say it, very uncharacteristic of a road course race, but that allowed these guys to turn this into a one-stopper. And I do think we're going to see more people coming in. I will say, if I'm that guy on screen right now, that 21, I'm in no rush to bring it in with those laps I'm putting down.
No, you don't want it. You don't want it to get tight.
And now you're going to see this tire differential, though, as you see Dodson quickly catch up to Para Makar on older tires. He's on the 17th lap on those tires, and it is a big difference. So Dodson, like you brought up, me and Gene, cutting it very, very close on fuel, but maybe not too close as you see our other leaders coming in here. Love what Sean Walton's doing, and by following in Cook, that's a great move by him. But that definitely, that could have been a wake-up moment there to see that speed differential that Dodson had, and maybe put 4 fresh ones on it. It'll be interesting to see how much longer the 21 wants to stay out. I'd say maybe 1 or 2 more.
Yeah, I think of all the road courses, definitely this is the one, especially since it has those huge oval turns that you really don't want your tires to get too loose. That's a place, especially when you're coming into those tight turns, you could find some great difficulty if you've let your tires wear out too much. Right now, looks like Tony Iverson has made his way up into second place, but look at the gap Buddy Sully has over the rest of this crew. Iverson is on still his initial tires, but yet he finds himself
Sully's
20
bringing in.
seconds behind.
Sully pitting right now, and me and Gene, Sean Walton took 2 tires. He had a 7-second pit stop as opposed to, yeah, why not? We don't have a ton of time to go left in this thing, I agree. Cook with a 14-second pit stop, and Walton with a 7-second pit stop, so that enough, obviously, to give Walton that spot back. So let's see what Sully does. If I'm Sully, put 4 on it. He had a big enough lead to that 7-second delta won't even be enough to give Walton the lead. So let's see what he elects to do here. I don't think this 21's been down pit road all day today. Looks like it's gonna be a 4-tire pit stop. And
why not? You got that nice lead. Go ahead and put those 4 freshies on there. Yep, you can see him taking those left sides now.
Off he goes. Such a unique pit exit there too.
It's nice to have that pole position stall, isn't it?
Yeah, especially here. It's such a good point. You really just get to go straight to that left corner. Not really have to think about the boxes in front of you. Totally right there. It's probably of all tracks one of the most advantageous for sure.
I wonder what kind of time Sully's going to put down. Now these tires are cold. I mean, they're brand new. He just put them on. You know, we're not going to get an adequate run right here. So this first lap, probably not the one we want to pay attention to. But the second lap he runs on those tires, really curious.
With an incident, those 2 tires clearly not giving him the balance that he expected. And that's the problem with 2 tires, man, Gene. It's a smart move if you know what to expect, right? It can totally throw off the balance of a race car, especially with the gas situation that thing has now. So let's see what happens here. Is this going to be similar to Hillman, where he just gets loose seemingly out of nowhere? He's loose now, Mean Gene. That thing's nearly going around.
Yeah, he's on the brakes trying to set up his turn. You can't be on the brakes, go right, left, right. Oh,
I don't want to look silly and be like, oh, no, what went wrong here? Oh my goodness! Oh,
that's gonna leave a mark.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, Mata, watch out! Watch out, Mata!
Michael Mata's like, no.
Oh, okay, he should be okay. And then David. Oh, he chose. What a gentleman and a scholar. Oh, that was Jax. I apologize. That was Jackson Cook. Sorry, Jax. But glad you're okay.
Sean Walton is gonna park it. He is off to the infield care center.
Huge development there, Minji. What do you think happened there? Do you think he was so loose that he, maybe just couldn't steer it at all and was hoping to get it slowed down more? Or do you think that was another equipment failure? What do you think we just saw there?
I think he was trying to turn on the brakes. You gotta hit the brakes on the straightaway and then roll. And I think what we saw right there was he was trying to drive that car. He overdrove the car, thinking, "Oh, I'm on fresh tires. Let's go." And that's not how the Roval is going to treat you. You mentioned it earlier. Respect the track, or else you're going to be in the
on 2
infield
of them,
care
not
center.
4 of them.
Wow, what a big crash! Walton was so fast, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. It was going to be fascinating to see what those 2 tires were able to do. But yeah, I think you're right. I think it was just an unpredictability with the way the car was going to feel. And what we're saying, looks like looks like Owens is going to come in and give up the lead. David Owens in our playoff, so likely staying out long there to stretch that, Mean Gene, to get that playoff point. Smart move, or not playoff point in the playoffs. Smart move by David Owens.
Yeah, really needing to do that. David Owens, 13 points behind the leader, but he's 1 point behind Duval and Fritz. Remember, that cutoff line is going to be between 9th and 10th. So right now, Justin Parham, Buddy Sully, Michael Botta are that bottom 3 drivers, but Buddy Sully not going to be down there for very much longer. Mason Smalley, he'd be running right there in that 9th, 10th, and you can see his day right now. He's running in 10th position. Still got a few cars on that lead lap, 13 cars. Why is he in the grass?
That's Smalley right there, right?
Well, I shouldn't have been talking about him. I'm just
there
jinxing
you go
them all.
again, jinxing people. You're going to owe Mason Smalley a Venmo for that.
Oh, speaking of Venmo, how about up front? Looks like David Owens back on the track, and he's got right ahead of Tony Iverson. 7-second pit stop by David Owens. What does that mean? Right sides only?
Yes, it does. So let's see how he handles that. I mean, I doubt he knows what went down with Walton unless they're in Discord together, so that'll be interesting. Already you can tell kind of sketched out by it behind Iverson, but it's also like you've talked about a lot tonight, Mean Gene. Cold tires here are brutal. They are not fun. Deep send by Owens there. Let's see how he's able to wrap this chicane very nicely by David Owens. Using all the track on exit. Great exit, but that
he did a lot
Iverson.
better. That setup reminded me of the way that Buddy Sully took the lead from Sean Walton. But Owens was able to navigate the exit a little bit better than Walton. Iverson couldn't put that move on him. But Iverson, on those fresher tires, it's only a matter of time.
Yeah, I think so too. I think you're right. But still a net gain from Owens to do that strategy and stretch that run. He did a great job there. Now that we do have the pits cycled out and our leader with the 11-second lead, which is a lifetime, we have some regular season awards to give away, don't we, Mean Gene? If you want to pull those up, Joe.
Let's check it out.
Because as you guys know, more importantly, Michael Mata may have had an incident here. Let's see. Medina with an incident as well. Medina up to 6th. That's interesting. And let me see if I can find anything that happened. Well, yeah, Medina looking to be going very slow here. And very loose and around he goes. Yeah, so Medina backed it into the wall and won Volpus, which did appear to damage his car a good amount, but it's tough to see if he just shook up in terms of confidence of the car. No, that thing is slow.
Yeah,
he's going to have to bring that in. And I'm assuming Medina, another one, Mean Gene, that I think may have used his fast repair, involved in both of our early incidents. We're about to find out because I don't think Medina's going to want to leave that car on the track for much longer. So we'll have to see what happens there.
No, at this point, it looks like a battle of attrition for a lot of these cars. You only got 9 cars on that lead lap. So if you can come in and pit, you got a lot of time in that pit, minute 24 second laps by these guys. If you could just get 30, 40 seconds of repair on that car, that might make a huge difference and still stay on that lap.
Definitely. Well, maybe now we can do the awards, Joe. Hopefully that doesn't end up jinxing someone else into a wreck, as Medina appears to be bringing it into the pits here. Yeah, no surprise there. So, this is our first race of the playoffs, as many of you know. So let's give away some awards for our regular season, because that matters. So our champion, someone missing today, and didn't miss a race all regular season, but maybe was forced to miss his first one in the playoffs. Kenneth Regginger, congratulations to him. Most wins, locking us up with the last race of the regular season, David Cook with 3. Most poles, which we talked about before this race, Buddy Sully. He added to that today with his 5th, but in the regular season, 4 out of 5. He only didn't get it done once. And speaking of crazy consistency, Rettinger never missed the top 10, and that's how you win a championship in a points-based championship like the regular season. So good for Rettinger, super good consistency, and that goes all the way down to the next 2 awards, which is the most top 5s and the best average finish, all by the same guy, and telling a very obvious story of how to win a championship in the regular season and lock yourself up with those bonus points in a great situation in the playoffs to where you could miss a race and not be in the worst situation. We have one more set to give away, if we have those. And this is more, and you're going to see another common name here, and these are more based on speed on track, not so much end of race production or finish, you could say. And speed rating, which we've talked about a lot this year, and that's basically a 1 out of 150 rating on your overall speed. So it takes a lot into account of your short and long run speed. And that was Tony Iverson, which was the story of all year. 114.5 over 10 races is very impressive. He also led the most laps at 226, I believe over 100 more than the next person. Fast laps is the amount of times he was the fastest car on the track for 1 lap, and that was 141. Average running position, he also had the best at 4.9. And then let's talk about our cleanest driver of the league, and you had to run at least 8 races to be eligible for this. And that's Matthew Fritz, and 28 and 8, and he ran all 10 actually. So 28 races, or instead of 10 races, is the definition of clean. So hats off to you, Matthew Fritz. That's also how you get yourself in the playoffs as well as he did. So great job by him. And most passes, the guy that I think oftentimes you see in the top 10, and that's how you end up with a stat like this, having the speed to run the top 10 and to make passes. Austin Merrow, congratulations on that award. And that wraps up our regular season awards, Mean Gene.
Well, I've got one more award I want to go ahead and give out.
Oh, yeah.
This is the Mean Gene Golden Bumper Award. This goes to the driver with the most incidents on the year, and that's going to be Jax Duval, the driver of the 84 Chevrolet. He is going to get the Mean Gene Golden Bumper of Monday Night Mayhem. And you know what? I actually see somebody. I'm going to see if I can pull them right on in and put them on the spot.
Uh-oh. Hey.
Kenneth Rettinger, Mean Gene Money. You got your ears on, buddy. Kenneth, can you hear me, buddy? Oh, and he said no. He left. He does not want to talk.
You win a championship, and then you're too good for us.
That was fascinating.
Kidding, Kenneth. Maybe he doesn't have his stuff. Maybe he's having technical difficulties. That could be part of the reason why he's not out here. Definitely proved through the regular season that he wants to be. So that'll be interesting to learn.
Yeah, I actually had a glitch when he left, dude. That was wild.
I did too. Looked like everyone went a lap down for me or something. So yeah, I had the same thing, Mean Gene.
And then he's back. I see him back in Noma Sports. I guess he just doesn't want to talk right now. We'll try to get with him later.
We got Jack Sanders off the track. Nothing too serious. He's able to rejoin somewhat safely around Justin Parham, who's in the playoffs and saying, "Hey, defending champ, can I go, please?" And let's talk about that real quick. And this is no disrespect to our defending champion of the 25, Colonel Jack Sanders, because he is an awesome driver. But man, does that go to show the parity of this league that our defending champion not able to find his way into the playoffs this year. But again, nothing bad towards him. An excellent driver. Wait, and we got you, Mean Gene? Ooh, we might be losing Mean Gene as well.
No, I'm back. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I got a in-booth conversation going on over here as well.
Okay. I was like, what's
we're watching
happening?
the race together. No, it's not that big of a technical deal. No. We're talking about the race over here. And I didn't want to overlap what you were saying. Right now, though, ladies and gentlemen, 7 cars on the lead lap. We've got 6 laps to go. I'm assuming they can all make it on fuel since none of them are close to that empty tank warning that you're going to get at lap 17 or so. So 6 laps to go. Buddy Sully with an amazing 14-second lead over David Cook. David Cook just caught up in that foolishness and hasn't been able to overcome. Both those drivers running similar times, though. Look at that last lap. 122 for both of them. 411 for Sully and a 436. These guys are, a second and a half to 2 and 3 seconds faster than the rest of the field. Really just showing people how it's done. I wish Cook hadn't got caught up in that early foolishness, though. It'd sure be nice to see them bunched up, wouldn't it?
I was literally about to say that exact same thing, Mean Gene. especially given I was looking at the same thing you were too. Those lap times, yeah, they're thousandths of a second off each other right now. I wonder if David Cook is thinking like, man, if I had just had a clean race the way that 21 did to start this thing, where would I be right now? But, Gene, we're also in the playoffs, and when you're in the playoffs, a second place run really is not as good as a win, because a win will lock you into the next round, which I'm sure Sully will be very happy about. But it's big, especially with those 3 wins he has and those nice playoff points that came with it. And also, again, Redinger not being here, that's going to give Cook a really handsome buffer to where he can kind of just cruise for the last 2 races of, like we talked about before this race started, pretty unpredictable tracks we're going to, especially the next one.
Yeah, anything could happen in Indianapolis and Talladega. But one thing's for sure, David Cook definitely putting himself into a wonderful position here with that second place finish. David Cook only 10 points behind the leader, Redinger. Definitely going to catch him. Tony Iverson, though, remember, he is your number 2 points driver right now. He's running in that 3rd position. So Iverson will still be up in that front, probably still in the lead by a couple of points. But Cook and Iverson definitely going to be strong people.
And yeah, so I'm not sure.
Are those the 27s?
It's one of them. It's one of them. And then also an undercover one, which is Parham. He is an undercover 27 clubber, isn't he? But Parham putting down some really quick laps right now. Very impressive. And another driver who made our last playoff spot. So while he finds himself a lap down, an 11th place finish is good and will give him some points to help him. And really figuring it out right now, putting down some solid laps and battling it out with the 28 here, which is for position, as they both find themselves 1 lap down right now with the pace that 21 has.
Yeah, Parham had to turn it on at the end of the year. He was easily in the playoffs.
Off the track was the 28.
Ooh, my oh my.
Yeah,
Parham easily into the playoffs, but then all of a sudden he sees Samada and Sully win those back-to-back races, and then suddenly being in 10th position was a precarious spot as far as getting into that playoffs. Good buddy Sully, now he's about to eat up another driver. He's coming up on Jacques Duvall. Duvall running in the 7th position. And let's see how long it takes Sully to get on by that 84 Golden Bumper of the Year award winner.
What I've seen more often than not at road courses, this is Jacques Duvall though, but normally lapping cars is far, far easier at road courses. It's a lot better for the car getting lapped and the car in the lead to just let them go. A lot of time can be lost on fighting for no reason. And just like we saw with the 28 getting passed there by Parham, not a lot that gentleman move by Jacques Duvall there. And to, like we talked about, or like I just said, to do it in a spot where it really doesn't affect either driver, right? Jacques on his way there, still going to have a good points day, running in 7th place now. Great spot there. And here we have Medina and Smalley battling for position here. But yeah, I was just thinking about this, Mean Gene. I haven't seen a lot of actual, like, on-track passes, right? It seems like the way to go is he'll make a mistake. I'll just get close to him and put some pressure on, show my nose a few times, and he'll make a mistake. I don't really feel like actually passing somebody.
Mm-hmm. You don't want to take that chance. We did see that smooth move by Buddy Sully when he took the lead from Walton when he set him up going into that one chicane, and then he just had that exit speed when he rolled out. Like he kind of pressured Walton into coming into that thing a little bit hot. And then we saw Walton do it again when he wrecked. He just came into a chicane a little bit hot, lost control with those 2 fresh tires, car just out of balance, like you said, Zach. Coming in hot doesn't pay. It's all about that roll and that exit, right?
Yeah, totally. A lot of the, especially in where we're seeing a lot of mistakes, like namely the chicane, like we said, so much about that is like, even think like a truck like Pocono, it's not about your entry, it's about your exit, because that's where all the time ends up being. Going straight is a lot faster than going, in a sharp corner. So plan for that. That couldn't agree more with what you said. It's very going in hot doesn't have a ton of benefits unless you're going for a pass. Defending, it definitely doesn't seem like the move. Let's talk about this car on screen real quick, me and Gene, that 54 Medina. Talk about never say die, and we've seen that from him all season, and hats off to him for that. He was just in a pretty serious incident, backing it in, brought it down the pits, got that car fixed, and now finds himself in 9th place still looking at top 10, and that 28 of Smalley in front of him, that's for position. So this thing is far from over for Medina, who probably, when he got that damage fixed, me and Gene, he probably slapped some tires on it too. Looking at his time, slapped at least 2 of them on there. Why not? So he could be up there with Smalley in terms of speed, so just awesome job by Jose Medina to never give up, always fight, and that's why you do that, because you're going to end up with the top 10. This guy will be in the playoffs next year, Mean Gene.
He's also a really nice guy. I've heard Medina interact with drivers when he's been involved in accidents. He doesn't take it personally when he gets hit by another guy. And if it's his front bumper making contact, I've heard him go out of his way to make sure.
The 26 got super loose. Sorry.
Ooh, and there goes Medina right on by.
Yep, let's see if they battle. The 26 got all kinds of sideways. Mean Gene, oh man, but then so does the 54, and yeah.
Oh, and he's around.
Make quick work of this one, Jose. Get that thing turned around. Good job, buddy. No harm, no foul, hopefully. Closest car to him is the 18 of Parham. That's not him. That's still a pretty big gap. He should be okay. And Owens goes off the track. Maybe trying to oversend it to make sure he completes that pass. Again, able to protect the car, and Medina just needs to take it easy here. Those tires are definitely all types of warmed up. Oh, yeah, off the track he goes again, Mean Gene.
Wow, 2 tires just becoming a nightmare for many drivers. That Owens going by him, Owens is just putting, is a lap ahead, so that's not really for position. The next driver that Medina is going to be looking out for is going to be, Justin Parham coming up behind him?
Correct. And didn't think about that initially, but it almost seems like taking 2 tires is worse than taking none.
Yeah, I was about to agree. And speaking of taking none, that's Justin Parham. If he does catch up to Medina, we'll get to compare that. And Medina, again, just having difficulty. Yep. I bet he locked up those tires, and he's just got, flat spots now.
Totally agree with I think that's what happened, too, because he didn't hit anything. And that little boop that Smalley gave him, that wasn't anything. So you're right. I think those tires are at the very least very hot, but I think flat spotted as well. I think you're right, Mean Gene. He just needs to baby that girl home.
And you can see the mechanical wear that they're putting on these cars. When these drivers are coming into these turns after these long straightaways, I mean, you can just see the disc glowing red inside that rim. So these cars are under constant wear and tear, and if you mess with the tires, I'm looking at Buddy Sully right now, and you can just see glowing red from the front right, as I'm on the outside view of his car, and right here again, just glowing red. Last lap here, Buddy Sully is getting ready to take it home. Man, this guy is still running 123 second laps compared to other people putting down 126. This guy is just on fire. I think he's taking it easy now, though.
Yeah, he definitely is, because David Cook's still putting down 122s, but you're right. Why mess it up now? Look at that gargantuan lead, 17 seconds. What a clinic by Buddy Sully, and that's what he's kind of done when he wins, Mean Gene, right? When this guy wins races, it's kind of like Kyle Larson style, just putting the old school whooping on the field, and that's what he's doing today, and it's fun to watch. I love this type of racing. This to me is as exciting as a photo finish, watching someone this impressive do what Sully is doing right now. And just 2 sets of chicanes left, and he'll be bringing home his 2nd win of the season. And thank goodness he got time off work to come and make sure that he made the minimum amount of races to make the playoffs, because it only took 1 race, Mean Gene, for it to be worth it.
Yeah, this guy, especially considering all those poles that he took as well, this is just a fella you want to see in the playoffs. As far as missing a race goes, we'll see how that affects Redinger. As long as Redinger can get through to that next round, he should be fine. And there is your winner, right there, Buddy Sully. What a dominant run. Sean Walton tried to challenge him for a little bit, but Walton was overdriving that car to keep it close. And like you said, Zach, it looked like that strategy of taking 2 tires was just painful on the car, and many drivers that we saw take 2 ended up just losing out totally and taking themselves out of the race.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Sully with such a huge lead, that still lots of on-track battles here. Matthew Fritz getting close to crossing the line here. Excellent job from Fritz, doing what he's done all year. Here comes Michael Mata, another driver who's been through a lot of stuff today. He's going to bring it home in the top 5. Our top 6 really, mostly, besides guys like Iverson, Owens, and Cook, who were involved in a lot of tomfoolery on the track, not necessarily they're doing, but just a lot of problems. But guys like Fritz really just had to stay out of trouble today and able to bring it home 6th. Going to come out of here with a lot of points, as there goes Owens across the line for a 4th place. What a recovery from the number 11 car. Great job by him. And here comes Michael Mata, another playoff driver. Me and Gene, all our playoff drivers for the most part, doing a great job to continue to be in the fight at this round.
Yeah, as you look down at the bottom, the first cars that fell out, not playoff drivers. So playoff drivers are going to be taking up the top 11 spots of this finish today, minus Redinger, who had that unfortunate day. So your final tally officially: Buddy Sully, your winner; David Cook second; Tony Iverson third; David Owens is in fourth; Michael Mata. That is your top 5, as we had a few cautions early, and then after that we did have incidents, but not bad enough to take out the entire field, forcing more and more cautions. And there's Buddy Sully, your winner, spinning it around, and you can see the race results here. Buddy Sully, Redline Motorsports, is your winner. Look at the lead, too, that he had over Cook. What a run there by him today.
Nearly lapped the whole field. I mean, these aren't long laps. I'm not sure if it's friendly bumping, but the 32, the 60, and the 25 getting into it on the cool-off lap. Those guys were around each other a lot.
I'm going to assume it is just some friendly shenanigans by these drivers.
Who knows how many incidents they have, Mean Gene? Be careful. Don't block yourself from that.
Don't want a penalty. All right, let's see if we can pull in some drivers. First driver I'm going to try to pull in is the number 13 Toyota, Tony Iverson. Can you hear me, brother?
I'm here, man. What's up?
All right, Tony Iverson, late run there to get yourself up into that podium position. Really good. I hadn't seen you turn the car right before. It looks like you're a natural at it. How many road courses do you try to put miles on every year? Is this a normal thing for you?
No, not in these cars. I actually really don't like it at all. But I mean, when my philosophy is, if it ain't just turning left, then I don't feel right. So I was having a hard time. Buddy actually made me a tutorial basically to try to get me through this race. So anything I was able to do, I owe it to him with the help he gave me. But I'm really happy with the podium here. Usually the only road course I like in these cars is the Glen, so this feels pretty good.
Yeah, Watkins Glen. I mean, I wouldn't even want to call it a road course anymore. It seems like everybody's run that thing from Heat 5 to Dirt to Daytona back on the console days. Tony, I do want to ask you, though, early in the race, like turn 1, you were one of the cars that was involved in that incident. Was there just bananas out there in that turn, or was the track just a little slicker than you guys ran in practice?
I did 2 different practice sessions throughout the week, and I never once experienced like that level of it. But I also, one of the bad things about practice is you don't really get to run with any cars. So I hadn't been in that lane with that cold of tires going into that turn, and I found out what happens.
It was really interesting because we saw David Cook on the outside spin with the help of another car, but you were on the inside. No one touched you, but you look like you spun synchronized with him. Looked like I was watching the Ohio State Championship synchronized swimming team as you guys brought it around. But both of you ended up riding the ship and finishing strong. David Cook right ahead of you in second. Tony Iverson put down some good laps out there, but Cook and Sully, just ridiculous speeds. Did you know Sully was the guy to beat coming in?
Oh, yeah. I told him multiple times coming into this race after he had kind of helped me out with navigating the track. I was convinced that this was going to be a race for him. And I had a feeling Cook was going to be fast here too, but I honestly didn't think I was going to be on the podium. So definitely got to thank Buddy for helping me out over the week.
Well, really nice of you, really magnanimous to give credit to some other drivers. I'll tell you what, though, Kenneth Redinger did not make that start today, Tony. You were 5 points behind him in the points. Buddy did take that win, but Buddy was 15 behind you, and I think that's pretty much going to put you up at the top of the poll. That's unofficial, but next 2 races, you're looking at Indy and Talladega before that cutoff. Tony Iverson, you got to feel good in this first round of the elimination. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the next week's track. That is one of my all-time favorites. But I just want to shout out David and David Owens and buddy for running with me. We had some new people in there with us today too, which was pretty cool. You know, more the merrier. And I want to thank you guys for the broadcast, and thank all the MRL guys for putting on this league, and I want to thank the wife for putting up with me doing this.
I'll tell you what, happy wife, happy life. That is the MVP crew chief for Tony Iverson, his wife, making sure that it all happens at the house. Thank you for that run, Tony. Good to see you, and we'll see you next week at Indianapolis.
Yeah, man. Thanks, guys.
Smart man giving that shout out to the crew chief of that number 13 Toyota right there.
Yes, sir. Great idea. Next up, David Cook. We got you, man. Go ahead and unmute yourself. Excited to talk to our second.
Hello.
How's it going, David?
How y'all doing?
Run today. We were talking about you a lot going in. I've seen what you can do on these road courses. We already talked to, I'm sure you heard it, we talked to Iverson about it. Talk to me about those first couple of restarts and all the chaos that ensued.
Well, I just got back to the pits, and the guys are telling me that they over WD-40'd the ball joints up front, so we got a little WD-40 on the tires going into turn one there, boys, but we'll be all right. Yeah, that turn one was a killer tonight. I don't know.
Yeah, that was certainly fascinating, and yeah, it was a wild start. I thank God I didn't say, like, don't worry, guys, we won't have any cautions, because, yeah, we ended up with two of them, which really changed the pit strategy here. Did you feel like you would have had something for that 21 had you not had to deal with all those early incidents?
Yeah, I think that the first one you're able to do the fast repair, but after that second wreck, the car was not turning too good to the right there, and it was burning up the tire pretty good on the left front. So it was hard to deal with the car, but you just got to stick with it, and you just got to put your head down and keep racing. And I got a good support system here and everything, so. Yeah, we just kept with it and kept making our way up through the field again, and somehow, some way, we found ourselves in second place.
Yeah, we were speculating about that. We saw you use that fast repair in one of the early incidents, and then knew you got more damage. So we figured that car could not have been fun to drive. So hats off for bringing it to a second place. Super, super impressive. Also with those wins you had in the regular season and resetting with those playoff points and the run you had today, definitely looking really, really good going into our second race of the playoffs. So great job, David Cook. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before you get out of here? Oh,
absolutely. Buddy Sally, what a race, man. You're what a race car driver. You're a great competitor, dude. So I look forward to racing with you every week in this Cup Series, and everybody else. Iverson, you can always guarantee he's going to be right there at the end too. So yeah, looking forward to this chase, man. This is fun stuff. So anybody watching that wants to join, make sure you join. Send whoever you need to a message. Get in this league. Simratmarket.com, my sponsor. We're actually racing on my dad's computer, so thanks to him, it's a big deal. So if it wasn't for Dad right now, I wouldn't even be in the series right now. So I appreciate him, and yeah, everybody else, my friends, my family, everybody. So, and you guys for doing this every week, and everybody watching. Thank you.
Thank you so much, David, and congrats on the finish. Me and Gene, take it away with our winner, I'm assuming, Buddy Sully.
Well, I tell you what, it sounds like everybody's got their family down working the pits for him. David Cook. Right there, giving a shout out to his dad. Absolutely. All right, so that means there can be only one, and that one today is the number 21 Ford, first on race day. Buddy Sully, you got your ears on?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, man, that car out there was flying. I think they're going to have to tear it down in inspection, my friend.
Oh yeah, I absolutely love road courses in this car. It don't matter the course. Something about this car and road courses just mesh well with me.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it was a pleasure to watch you run that. Some of the drivers mentioning also they were getting advice to you coming into this thing. I do want to ask, you made one of the cleanest moves we saw. Most people, when they were passing, they were waiting for the guy in front of them to make a mistake. Sean Walton was ahead of you after one of the restarts, and you passed him going into one of the chicanes. Do you remember that moment? And did you set him up? Did you feel like, if you remember that moment, can you walk me through what you did there?
So it was a waiting game for me. The lap before I passed him, coming the chicane that comes back out onto the oval, I saw him slip up and get loose. So I backed off and just followed him around for the remainder of that lap and the next one. I saw him getting loose a couple of other spots, and I knew that if he got loose right there, he didn't get loose coming onto the oval, but he got loose coming out of the chicane, and I just took advantage of it.
Yeah, it was one of the smoothest passes we saw. A lot of people, as I said, were just waiting for others to make mistakes, but not you, buddy. You saw that move and you went by there about as quick as you can. David Cook, he ended up getting caught up in the traffic on those restarts. He also ran some fast times, but I got to tell you, I mean, you on lap 17 put down a faster lap than anybody else's best lap. Super impressive out there. I want to talk to you about strategy. We saw some guys try to take 2 tires. It looks like you took 4 on your stop. And the 2 tires appeared to be a problem for a lot of the drivers. Did you discover that during the week? Did you try a 2-tire strategy? And if so, did you know it was a red flag?
So I didn't try it going into today. My plan was to just take right.
He just drives over his head. He always has.
The oval part of the track was burning off the right front. So my original plan was to just take right sides, reset all the temperatures, because temperatures in these cars, or in these tires in these cars, is almost worse than having bad tire wear. Whenever I went to pit, I looked at my lead and I didn't know what 2 tires was going to do. So I knew I had a big enough lead to just take 4 and not notice the difference from it.
Well, we watched it out there, and it seemed like anybody that took 2 tires was having more difficulty with their car than people that took no tires. So whether it be half chance or strategy, that really just ended up being a winning strategy for you. I mean, I'm super happy you won, and it was great to watch you dominate. But there was a little part of me that was kind of hoping maybe there could be a third caution and get you and David Cook together to see exactly how that would pan out. Buddy, you went into this thing 11th in points. I think you're going to be a little bit higher once we do the point tally after this win. Hell of a win right there for you, buddy. And we're going to pull up the points after this interview. Got Pit Row Joe, making that happen. Anybody you want to give a shout out to, buddy, before we head out?
Yeah, I got to shout out Tony and David Owens. It was super fun trying to help Tony figure out this somewhat try to help him figure out this track through the week. I also want to shout out all the veterans out there. I mean, today's Veterans Day, so you got to shout out them anytime you get a chance. And you guys up in the booth for doing the broadcast, because it's an absolute blast to go back and watch them.
Well, we are lucky enough just to be able to watch you guys work your magic out there. And I assure you, it is a pleasure for all of us. Zach Panzarella, Joe, Kevin, Kyle, not here tonight, but all of us just love watching you guys race. Buddy, next week, Indianapolis, how do you run there?
I would say average. It's not my favorite track, but I can kind of sort of get around there.
Well, just don't turn right when you're doing it. Buddy,
Right.
Congratulations. Heck of a run. We're going to have those points put up pretty soon. Getting ready to see Buddy push up to the top. Just like at Phoenix on Sunday, we see another Ford taking the W. Buddy, Sally, congratulations, my friend.
Yep, thank you. Yep.
What a heck of a day, Zach. I'll tell you what, there were the moments out there where we saw a lot of the cars run side by side. We saw a lot of strategy, and we saw some pitfalls, right? A little bit of failure, especially on that 2-tire strat.
Yeah, the cautions early, making the strategy a little bit more one-dimensional, taking this race into a one-stopper instead of a two-stopper. So a lot of guys trying to get creative and use 2 tires. And yeah, that was a lot of fun to watch unfold. And I don't think it panned out the way a lot of people expected, as Joe Volpis, the man in the booth, great job, Joe, pulling up those points. And let's talk about it first.
Look
Eugene,
at that.
who's in 12th place?
9. Redinger is going to fall back into 12th. That hurts him. 33 points back. He's got to get to 9th. So he's only, that's top 9, right? No, you're right. 8. 12 to 8. So
he's got to get 11 points, Eugene.
That's going to overcome. But hey, let's look at the top. Let's talk about the positives, because the cup is half full, not half empty, my friends. And right now, up at the top, jumping 9 spots. Look at Buddy get it done.
Yeah, wind does so much, right? Especially when you reset this all and wow. I mean, well, first of all, we can just get this out there that he's locked in. He's going to the round of 8, winning in advance in this league, just like real NASCAR. So, Buddy Solly, congrats to him. And below that, wow. What will a top 3 podium run do for you, Mean Gene? Quite a bit. How about that with Tony Iverson and David Cook with some pretty healthy margins? Because what you really do have to pay attention to, like we said, is that 9th place of Marrow. For someone like Iverson, that's a healthy 20-point gap there.
Yeah, he looks good up there. I'll tell you what, Buddy Sully is showing exactly how the playoffs can work out. You know, he did miss a few races, so he didn't run strong in all the races. But I'll tell you what, if you pick and choose the right races to win and put your energy into those tracks, you could find yourself in a championship position. And that's what we're seeing Buddy Sully do right now. Is I'm not going to say he's cherry picking, but he's definitely picking those great opportunities to win, putting himself up there. But, you know, Tony Iverson, 4 points behind him, David Cook, those two guys, class of the field. And let's face it, Kenneth Redinger, he only needs to get one win to push his way up into that second round. Points reset. And then we're going to see Kenneth Redinger right there at that top again going into that second round of elimination. So keeping an eye on that 8th place. How can we get there? How can we catch Mason Smalley? Another riser right there. Look at Michael Mata pushing his way up and getting out of that elimination spot.
Yeah, I kind of group Sully and Mata together sometimes because they were the two guys, as you can see, with 6 starts for the 21 and 8 for the 16 of Mata. The least amount of starts, but enough to make the playoffs. And those guys were quietly huge threats the entire season when they were out there. And we just knew, Mean Gene, all regular season, if those guys make it to the playoffs, watch out. And they are not disappointing. And you're right. All Redinger has to do is get a W or have 2 really, really solid races. Like we said, 100% top 10 percentage of the races he does run, which was every race of the regular season. I think that would be enough. But not only does it reset Mean Gene, he gets back those 23 bonus points, and
Exactly.
he'd probably be back in first place unless Sully or Cook wants to keep rattling off wins.
Yeah, we'll have to see them get some more wins. You know, early in the season, that's what we were watching was David Cook, Iverson, and Owens getting those W's, and then all of a sudden, I'm sorry, Cook and Owens, Cook and Iverson, and Redinger getting those wins, and then later in the season, we see these other two guys stepping up, and now we see one of them standing up at the top. I tell you what, this stuff is just exciting. Indianapolis next week. Going to just be a really great show. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't taken this opportunity, go ahead and hit like, go ahead and hit share, go ahead and subscribe. Let your friends know this thing is getting wide open. If you're a driver, you want to be part of MRL, jump in right now. Reach out. Talk to Joe Volpes, talk to John Beverly, talk to David Owens. We got a series every night of the week for you. And if we don't have a night that you're available, we are partners with the Bonfire Race League as well, BRL. They're running trucks on a Tuesday. They're running the 87 Legends on Saturday morning. So there's always somewhere that we can fit you in. You like the street stocks, you like the wheeling modifieds. We got a series for you. I think that's going to wrap it up. Final thoughts, Zach.
I mean, first of all, look at that sunset. Good night, Charlotte. What an amazing track. And it did not disappoint. These guys putting on a show, finding a way to give us cautions at a road course, which honestly, Mean Gene, I appreciate that. I love that. I want to give a big thank you to Joe Volpes for coming in the last second and producing for us. I was stressed all day about making this race in terms of my drive from Phoenix, and I'm so glad that it worked out because that was so much fun, and I was super sad to miss our finale of the regular season last week. So very happy to be back. These playoffs delivering every ounce of excitement and closeness that we anticipated and that we predicted. Not disappointing at all. It's going to continue not to. Indianapolis, another track where these guys are going to be very, very challenged. This schedule is not just really, really fun in terms of the entertainment factor, but it's extremely challenging. I don't envy these guys with the tracks that they have to go to week in and week out, next week included. So it's going to be another really fun one. I can't wait to see what happens, Mean Gene. And we are going to have a hell of a battle to see who wins this MRL championship because we have 12 guys that are equally as capable of getting it done.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. And I'll tell you, they better get it done in Indianapolis, because once you get to Talladega, that thing is just going to be off the rail. Anybody could win and anybody could show up. We had 19 drivers today, but remember, we pushed 30 at Auto Club for that season finale. And I would not be surprised to see every Tom, Dick, and Harry, every Peter, Paul, and Mary show up for a Talladega race. So you better get it done in Indianapolis, or else you could be in trouble. Hey, Joe, Pit Road Joe, you got any final thoughts, brother? He said, hold on.
Yeah, what a great race we had here tonight. This is the first time I've been doing a live producer, broadcast actually ever. We usually end up doing these race replays, so this was a great experience. Watching the race back, and seeing what happened at the start of the race, that was pretty. Exactly. That's exactly how the beginning of the race was tonight. Thank you, forever, who hit that button, because the first couple laps, I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. So for my first time producing and directing the series, I have to say the first couple laps were insane, and it was great to see Buddy go out there and dominate the way that he did. I know how great of a road course racer he is, so congrats to him on making it to the round of 8. And guys, I love being here with you guys, and it was great to produce with you guys tonight. And I hope I'm back next week. Maybe I'll come back do some guest broadcasting with you guys if I can these weeks. And yeah, it's great being here, and just so much fun to watch these guys race around here. Such a great series, so many great drivers, and just all you can ask for in a series.
Yep, that's Joe Volpus right there doing our production tonight. Also, one of the admins you reach out to if you would like to be a part of our racing series. Amazing race. I ain't got no thoughts except for what you guys already put in there. I just feel glad to be here in the booth. Joe Volpus, that's Pit Road Joe, Zach Panzarella giving us the XYZs on the track. I am Mean Gene Money. So much fun, ladies and gentlemen. Can't wait to see you next week at Indianapolis. And as always, bottoms up and hammer down.